Timekeeper, which is actually an event that's going to be hosted here on Twitch.
0 keys.
Well, it looks like Tim's winning.
Yeah, well, some of us had to work today.
What's it called?
You ever heard about Shady Pines?
No.
Well, it was this mental hospital, right? Out in the middle of nowhere by Borden. Got shut down in the 80s. Then this tech company takes it over like 10 years ago. Starts using it for research.
A tech company in Borden? Researching what?
Nobody knows, that's the thing. But after a couple years, the guy running it, he goes insane. Locks everyone inside, sets the whole place on fire, burns them all alive.
Cool. What does that have to do with the game?
Well, the game is Shady Pines. Sort of. I mean, Tim said the building is a little different, but he said that you could still see all the dents in the doors where the people had tried to get out. Pounding, pounding, pounding while the fire cooked them and scratched into the backs of all the doors.
Glad we have a little bit of context and not just started that audio right there.
Tick.
Pounding.
Talk. 0 keys.
Well, it looks like Tim's winning.
So it's like a full-blown audio production, a little bit more. I think that is really, really cool. And also what's really, really cool is MatthewA. So let me call him up here. We got the dynamic duo down here. Now, can you guys introduce yourself for anyone that's tuned in that has no idea who you are?
I'm Kaelyn, that ghost girl on Twitter. I kind of headed up the production side of our project.
I am Matt, also known as the MatthewA on Twitter, and I've been heading up the NFT side and then also the writing, directing of the audio drama / visual extravaganza that we have created for you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything that's happening with it. It seems that it's something that's different compared to a lot of other NFT projects. So give us the backstory, again, straight from square one. How do you guys kind of get into the NFT space, and why do you think that what you're doing here is something that people are going to really enjoy?
I know Kaelyn's the one who says she got me into the NFT space last January. She claims to have showed me, so not January 2021, she claims to have showed me something on Reddit.
I was reading something on my phone, and it was talking about NFTs, and I was like, Matt, have you heard about NFTs? And he like kind of blew it off. I swear that was the first time he had heard of NFTs, and then of course he like got into it on his own.
Yeah, and then a month or so later, another good friend of mine who you also know, Stately Wayne Manor, sent me some stuff on Top Shot, and then I dug into it from there, and through Top Shot discovered your channel, actually, the Schiller stream, the Schillerverse, the Schiller community. Back in the days when you were making midnight trades for $35,000 James Harden moments. The original Top Shot well. So yeah, and then it was from that to Bored Apes, and digging into a lot of kind of, which was from a late night ping from your Discord, by the way. So anyone who was not a part of the Schiller community in the early days, I'm sorry for you, because that was the goated experience. And then yeah, digging into like things like NFT boxes and learning more about the history of the art, Josie Bellini and all of her kind of interviews that she did from kind of 2017 on, with, you know, Jimmy Eth and Avastars, and learning about CryptoKitties and Pranksy's whole sort of backstory with CryptoKitty minting and Nate Alex and all of that. So that was that. And then dragging her, she introduced me to NFTs, and then I drug her back into it pretty soon after.
And now you guys are launching a project of your own, so we're really kind of going full circle with all of it.
Yeah, so we had started talking, I guess, last summer and then into the fall. So I don't know, Kaelyn, if you want to talk a little bit about kind of your experience career-wise.
Yeah, we had been talking about, like, it feels like there's an obvious overlap with NFTs and entertainment. And there's like a lot of paths forward with it, right? And we had seen a bunch of models, like Stoner Cats had come out, other projects that were kind of like ingratiating the two, trying to make cartoons and stuff. And we were like, well, we could just make something. A lot of the projects that we had seen were kind of reverse engineering of like, okay, we'll raise capital and then go make something. But we were just really bullish on wanting to have something like ready to go. That's my whole background is in TV and film. So I'm very much a like, let's just find the money and make it kind of person. And so that's what we just wanted to do. We wanted to create something that was really good and kind of like native to the entertainment space. And something that wasn't too big because movies are very expensive. So we were able to create an audio drama that's actually based on a feature script. So it very much functions like a movie. When you listen to it, it's 2 hours long. It's the same structure, everything of a movie. We cast fantastic actors that we wish we could say their names, but the Variety article is coming out later today. And then it will be announced. But we wanted to just find and then you can talk to this, like that overlap between like, okay, making content and then how do we enhance this content through Web3 and with NFTs? How can we like make our audience feel like they're an integral part to this project?
Yeah, something we've been talking about for kind of a couple years, and I had been looking into, is how to create like interactive viewing experiences. So how can we we all live online all the time. We're all constantly participating in stories. We're telling narratives. We're interacting with each other. We're mixing and remixing and doing memes. Like that's what the internet is. So to me, nobody really I don't think there's like an unmet demand to create and like to do drone adventure storytelling. I don't really think that's very interesting model. No offense to anyone doing that. But I think what is not, people want to feel part of like a shared experience. That's what I feel like is missing. And NFTs allow you to create an interactive viewing experience. So while we already fully produced this 2-hour audio drama, The Timekeeper, it has this amazing visual component that we've also like put together to it. So when you're tuning in on Twitch, you're not just going to be watching a black screen, you're going to be seeing like this actual whole sort of experience with the audio. We wanted to create something that was where the NFTs were an enhanced part of that, right? So where most projects sell you NFTs so they can fund something maybe, or so you can do work for them, which is I guess a great model if you sell NFTs that way. We actually fully produced and created something, and we now sell NFTs. Our NFTs are essentially a ticket to that experience and give you an opportunity to kind of own part of that via the Timekeeper. So that's kind of what we're flipping on our head, is like we produce something, we're creating an experience for the entire community to come have fun, like you go to a ticket for an event, and then there's a sort of like play the Timekeeper's game bonus element where you can actually like become a participant in the franchise moving forward. So kind of flipping that on its head a little bit.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like you are potentially looking at having more than just this initial production.
Yeah, and I mean, Kaelyn can speak to this a little too, but like our talent deals, like they're signed on option for more seasons. So the talent that we have, like everything with the podcast, like it is a feature length in the way that like, the original Halloween, right, is a feature length, but we don't know, you don't know what happens at the end yet. We do, but I can tell you there's definitely room for more, and that's the plan.
And on top of that, I think the way, just like coming from inside of Hollywood, I guess, and knowing how people look at podcasts and look at IP, like there's so much space for adaptation beyond just the podcast. We're already talking to places about TV and film adaptations. Like we've created like a really wonderful piece of IP that I think works super well as a podcast, but is native to film and television as well. And so beyond, wanting to do a second season of the actual podcast, we also are very much looking holistically at the stuff we create and thinking like, well, what are the legs moving forward? How can we expand the franchise into other mediums?
So, Kaelyn, I want to kind of dive in just a little bit more, because you were talking about how you've had experience with Hollywood and whatnot, and again, us plebs over here, we don't know what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. But can you give us a lowdown about maybe some of the conversations or things that as you were creating this and interacting with other individuals, how they look at Web3 overall right now?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I was having this conversation yesterday with someone where this was the first project I've ever had to call agents and managers and also pitch NFTs on top of pitching a project. And so I was so curious how that was going to go. And I will say on our end, like everyone was really excited about it. People didn't necessarily understand it. There were a lot of like Hollywood agents that were like, we talk about NFTs internally. We have a department that's now dedicated to NFTs. Personally, I don't really get it. I'm trying to learn. I'm like on the threads and I'm on Twitter and in Discords. we want to get our clients involved in like more NFT projects because there's so much space. I think a lot of clients in entertainment, writers, directors, actors have gone to their agents and managers saying, everyone's talking about NFTs. My other famous friends have Bored Apes. Other friends feels like a venture forward for like stuff I want to create. And so reps and everyone in Hollywood is now trying to like catch up to that because there does seem to be a demand. So that was really encouraging.
It's been really interesting too, because I know, go back to summer of 2021, I was doing a lot of like consulting for agencies doing like film marketing or like television marketing and releases and stuff. And so that was kind of early conversations they were having about NFTs, and no one really understood them at all, right? And then fast forward 6 months to when we're having conversations like in March with agents and some of those discussions, the transition from people vaguely know what an NFT is, but not really, to I want to be involved in NFTs. Obviously, bull market mania causes that because everyone wants to rush in. I think what you've seen is there's still sort of a sustained interest in what is this technology? What does it look like moving forward? And that's been good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, elephant in the room here. We're in a bear market, and I think that getting eyes on things is very, very different compared to what it was before. Now, I know that you guys were on the Non-Fungible Alpha podcast with Jeremy. Jeremy, feel free if you want to link that episode for potentially a little bit of a different take on this conversation. But what have you guys done to try to get eyes on this, and what's been successful?
I think the tough thing about the NFT market in general is it moves week to week. So, we started working on this last December with the understanding we were in a raging bull market that was probably going to crash at some point. So I would say there's not like, this is sort of within the expectations of what we thought like coming into the year. But at the same time, like you said, I think NFT communities, which has been a little disappointing to me, feel like they've gotten a little more sort of sunk into themselves. And what I've seen is sort of like territorialism, and I don't mean in relation to our project, right, because we're new, but I think you've seen this sort of like infighting and the money goes away and people have sort of collapsed in on each other a little bit. And one of the things that we're really trying to do is say, think of the NFT community as a whole. We're creating this event for all of these communities. The reason that we're doing these big giveaways for projects like things from Pixel Vault or Deadfellas or Chimpers is we want all of the people from those communities not just to come buy our project, because we're actually doing the event for free. You can listen to the Timekeeper for free. That was a big thing, is saying we want this to be something the whole NFT community can come together. And even if it's a bear market, you don't have to spend any money.
Yeah.
Like, this story of the Timekeeper is about playing a game that you feel like you can't win and that you can't turn off. And it very much, I wrote and directed, is very much based on the experience of 2021, of feeling like we're playing in this game that we cannot shut off or else you lose. Like, you can't turn off Discord, you can't turn off Twitter, you have to be paying attention 24/7. I think we've seen a lot of the outcome of what happens when everyone does that for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, you get burned out, you get stressed, you feel like everything is collapsing around you. So we want this event to be a respite, right? You don't have to pay anything to see it, but at the same time, we've created this really cool enhanced experience with the NFT collection that you can also be a part of. So our marketing is within the NFT community, trying to say, hey, this is for everyone. You don't have to pay. We're not trying to milk money off of you. And then broader than that, when we have our PR come out today, hopefully with a variety piece, we can really start having our talent promote it.
Yeah.
Who have pretty big social media followings and pretty big fans. So we're trying to also create an experience that is, yes, it's Web3, but it's broader than that. And we're bringing a huge audience to say, hey, come tune into this amazing content, enjoy the experience together. Let's have fun.
I will say, in a way, we almost like bear market proofed the project by just making it, because at the end of the day, like, even if no one buys a single ticket, we still have the podcast. I'm still going to try to make it into a movie. Like we still have this IP that I can take to other production companies, and we can still move forward with it, which is great. You know, we're not waiting on any financing for it.
Yeah, that's an important point. I think for like anyone considering, buying one of our NFTs, we already made the product.
Yeah.
So like if, the collection doesn't sell out, you didn't do whatever, it's like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, that actually doesn't matter.
we already made it. Like this is supposed to
like
supposed to
come
be
on this
holders.
journey with us, because we're going on the journey no matter what.
Right.
But we really want people to come on the journey with us. But so it's an insurance policy a little bit. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I brought this thing up and then I clicked the screen away. Here we go. So I want to just read kind of quickly from your guys' website here. So The Timekeeper is a 2-hour horror thriller audio drama that follows 17-year-old Charlie and his best friends Gamma and Zoe as they're pulled into a life and death version of a video game called 13 Keys. When Charlie's Funland coworker dies under mysterious circumstances after losing the game, Charlie discovers it was part of a tech company's research program led by a man named Jacob Fairchild. The program ended years ago when Fairchild burned the facility down with himself and all the participants inside. But the game has resurfaced, and it seems like no one who plays it survives. To win, Charlie will have to uncover the truth of what happened at the facility and beat the game and its omnipresent force, the Timekeeper. So, A+ job on that. I'm intrigued. I want to learn more. The aspect of this being kind of something you guys are focusing for audio and production, are you looking at doing a book at all? I know that, the book things are comics and these kind of other angles and whatnot. Is books anything that you guys are looking at with it?
I think what we made an audio drama because that market is really hot right now, and you can release it, distribute it, monetize it on your own if you have to. We're trying to sell it, right? It's already in front of all the major distributors and trying to get them to partner for a second season. But if you release a book, you could. But what happens is like people are trying to option books to turn them into podcasts right now, not really going the other way.
Yeah.
And I think, Kaelyn, you can speak to that in terms of like coming from TV development side, what sort of IP you want. And I think also like we have talent. If you option a book, you have to then get talent attached to it, and then you have to get a writer attached to it and director attached to it. You still have to turn it into something.
Yeah.
A script, right?
Yeah, definitely. And we'd still have to get a writer to write the book.
Right.
Yeah.
So we started with something that's actually like a step ahead of if you were going to option a book. So
yeah, I think this idea actually came from something that was geared towards like visual. It was like going to be a sort of movie, I guess. So the IP had always been visual in nature, or just, yeah. We hadn't thought of it as a book, and I think like we've always thought of it as a movie. And so a podcast felt obvious because you can just do a movie version but for audio, and then moving forward we just kind of want to like usher it into like the film and TV space.
yeah.
I think if we did, honestly, we would do a separate piece of IP as a book and try to
Interesting.
also get that into the TV and film space. But I think to make it a book might take up resources that would be better spent somewhere else. It's just very hard to get books published.
Yeah, it's almost like in the development process, making it a book would be going backwards.
Yeah, but I think we would definitely be open to making another piece of IP as a book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, and the reason why I asked is because, like, reading that, I was kind of like envisioning myself like reading the book. So I'm very excited to see what it's like in a full kind of production that way. But regarding the team, I want to kind of dive into that. So obviously we got Matt, Kaelyn, but then you have Jeff Schmidt, sound designer, Josh Zimmerman, the composer, Mr. Justin Van Buren, community manager, and then Ryan Gajda, who's the artist. So give me a little bit of a rundown of everyone else who's on your team here.
Yeah, I can talk about the sound designer and composer. Super, super big gets on our end.
Yeah.
We are obsessed with our sound designer, but he does all the big Wondery podcasts, Dr. Death, Shrink Next Door, Dirty John. He's coming from like list podcasting space, and he graced us with his time and his efforts. He did a podcast called Aftershock, which was an iHeart podcast that's also fantastic, sci-fi, futuristic, like LA disaster.
David Harbour, I think, is
Yeah,
from
David
Stranger
Harbour.
Things, one of the main actors in that.
Yeah, and Norman Reedus are the leads of that. And then just did such a good job building out the world because, I mean, you can kind of tell from the log line that you read, it's like a complicated story. And we knew that going into it, that for audio, we were going to have to be really specific about the way that we told the story so everyone could follow along the whole time. And our sound designer did such a good job of like keeping you in the space. So you know where you are, you know where all the characters are, even as you're listening.
I think just for reference, like of the last 4 years, podcast Jeff has sound design. Like I think 2 of those years, they were the most downloaded podcasts.
They were the most downloaded podcasts.
Has like over 100 million downloads.
He has like an insane rate of. It's
Yeah.
crazy. He has an insane rate of like conversion of the podcasts he work on that turn into TV shows. And
Yeah,
so
I think there's like 6 already in development.
yeah,
so.
we hope to continue his streak. And then our composer, Josh Zimmerman, who happens to be one of my best friends from childhood, but also is like Brian Tyler's number 2 or like right-hand man. So he's worked on Ready or Not, Fast and Furious 9. They're doing Fast 10.
The recent Scream.
The recent Scream. He's done, well, now we can say the new Super Mario or like Mario Brothers movie. He did the music for that. He did an Apple documentary that came out last year. Just like super prolific guy who works on like, again, just A-list movies and has created like a really amazing soundtrack for us that we're also going to post separately so people can just download and listen to that. Do you want to talk about the rest of the team?
Yeah, Ryan Gajda. It's a Polish name, so no one knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But Ryan is the artist and illustrator. He's a UK-based guy. Got connected to him through the agency that we're working with because what I wanted was an illustrator. I wanted character art that was not anime, but that was sort of like representational, right? It wasn't specifically superhuman. And I love Ryan's work for that reason. He's done a lot of like fantastic illustrations. I would encourage everyone to check out his site. He also has a huge following on Instagram. Like most visual artists, like he doesn't use Twitter. Like no one, I don't think any artist like outside of the NFT community use Twitter, which is funny. They're all on Instagram.
Yeah.
But Ryan's been working on the collection for probably, I don't know, like 4 months now. And he's actually, this is an important thing. So like, I think, like we said, like the Timekeeper characters collection is the collection you can play the game with. They are ERC 721s. There's 5 unique base characters. It's hand-drawn illustration. There is, all of this stuff is like really high quality, high-end work. And the backgrounds are actually photographs shot by the photographer Myrna Suarez. So like, it's not stock photography. We actually had a photographer who's a pretty well-known and respected photographer shoot backgrounds to be used because we wanted to bring together this sort of, this cartoonish world, but with the real world, because if we were making this as a movie, it would be in the real world, right? So we wanted to bring in those elements. And so we actually have kind of end-to-end really high quality there. And what will happen is if you play the game and you lose, those characters actually update to ghosts. So we spent all this time and effort and work, Ryan did specifically, making this amazing collection, and a lot of them will be destroyed, which I think is great art.
Okay, so I want to kind of jump back because you guys have been doing some different giveaways. You're kind of, anticipating up for the launch here. For anyone that's just tuning in, what are the details of, hey, we need to know, and why should they be paying attention right now?
So details, pre-mint Monday, October 17th is when that's scheduled. Our pre-mint is, it's not oversubscribed. We're not trying to like sell out a 20K collection in pre-mint. It's really because we are allowing communities to participate as communities. So we wanted to get the word out about that. So essentially, like when you enter the Timekeepers game, you can have a team name, and the community has the most NFTs that survive in the top 100 will actually win like a USDC prize. So our pre-mint is really to sort of drive that community engagement. That's the 17th. Public will go live the 18th. And the event itself is October 21st. So next Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, is when we're going to stream the first episode, the first 2 episodes of the Timekeeper. So the first hour. And that'll be on Twitch.tv Entertainment LA. and that will be posted by Mr. Von Schiller himself, which we're super excited about.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be next Friday at 10, and then the first phase of the Timekeepers game begins after that. And for all of you who are listening on different time zones, we are going to have a VOD up of the episodes, so you don't have to stay up at whatever hour or get up at whatever hour to watch that immediately. And you'll be able to play the game anytime between October 21st and October 26th, which is when the final episode airs. So those are kind of key dates. The pre-mint the 17th, public opens the 18th, and then the event starts on the 21st.
So it's collection of 20,000, just to reconfirm there, you said? So let me be that weird, bullish, woo, NFT guy here for a second. Let's say for this first one that you guys end up not selling out the 20,000, is there a supply reduction at all? Or is this something that, with the envisionment of, hey, we're going to continue to create these different production pieces, and just over time, we're going to have these available for people to be able to purchase?
No, we think of this as an event. So you don't sell tickets for a concert after the concert's over, right? So
Gotcha. Okay.
once phase one of the game, and there's more details about how the game functions on the site, but phase one runs from October 21st until like 6 p.m. Eastern on the 26th. Once phase one ends, we'll shut down the mint for Timekeeper characters. So that collection will be capped at however many are minted by that time.
Banger. Okay, cool. Now, any kind of final things that you just want people to know about? Like, I mean, for anyone that's just tuning in, that's the first time hearing about them, both of these people are absolute gems. If you ever get to meet them, unfortunately, I've only been able to meet one of the party on the screen here, but still, nonetheless, a giant in person and also a giga brain as well. But is there any kind of like final things you guys want to just kind of mention that people should be aware of, or maybe paying attention to for the broadcast?
I think the main thing I want is for people to know, like, you don't have to buy an NFT to enjoy this experience. I think the NFT is meant to be a proof of concept for how we can create interactive experiences going forward. A model that's scalable, like for the NFT space, and something that shows how, I think, a way forward for like creating entertainment projects that doesn't rely on NFT buyers to be financiers.
Yeah, I see a lot of tweets that are like, I thought we would have more NFT cartoons by now. I thought we'd have more NFT content by now. And if that's something you crave, you can tune in next Friday and you will see NFT content because we've already made it. So
banger. No, I love it. Listen, guys, I appreciate you coming on here. Hello, Amanda. But I'm excited for the mint. I'm excited for the full production and everything else. And I think that this is something that if you're watching right now, definitely pay attention to. And I'll obviously be sharing it from my different social media channels when it is. But guys, thanks so much for giving the time today.
yeah,
Thanks, Schiller.
thank you for
Appreciate you
having
having us
us.
on.
Yo, banger. All right, enjoy your day, guys. Peace, peace. Yo, there it is. Yo, sheesh. Yo, JVB, do you actually want to check in here from the airport? I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, longtime friends of the channel stream community, all that kind of stuff. Really excited to see different people, pursue their ideas, their dreams within Web3. So, wanted to show my support there, and I hope you guys are excited to see that as well. Guys, it's JVB from the airport in
San Diego.
Ooh, wait, are you going to the baseball game?
No, I'm going to Cabo.
Exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
So, are you like boarding within like 20 minutes or less? Because it seems like there's a lot of people at your gate.
Yeah, I'm boarding probably in like 10 minutes.
Atta boy.
Maybe less.
So, what are you down in San Diego for?
Well, this is just my layover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're on the way to Cabo. Because, I moved to the Bay Area. I would be going to the baseball game, but this Cabo trip was already booked, so I can't do it. But I would have loved to have gone.
Now, are you flying first class?
First class? No, we're flying private. I'm kidding. We're flying Alaska, and the flight's so full that we're not even sitting next to each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, how's the airport though? Because I mean, like in Canada, we still have like unbelievable delays at Pearson.
It's gotten a lot better actually. Compared to flying a couple months ago, I flights aren't really delayed at all right now, at least on the West Coast. It's pretty cool. Security lines aren't bad. It's been pretty painless.
Bye.
Nobody wears masks. Nobody wears masks anymore, but other than that, everything's pretty good.
Yo, hey, listen, your forehead and your eyes.
Yeah.
Listen, that's all you need.
Thank you, sir.
Hell
You're
yeah.
too kind.
All right. Well, listen, hit us with your big insights regarding the Timekeeper. Is there anything else? Because obviously you're on the team there that you want to add in addition to what Matt and Kaelyn said.
I think Matt and Kaelyn handled it much more eloquently than I could. I think the only thing I would add, at least from my personal experience in my world, is that trying to account for onboarding and the user experience when you have and you are expecting a group of people in your community who maybe aren't Web3 native or haven't really had their eyes open to all the possibilities and experiences and self-expression, authentic self, digital ownership, like this whole future of Web3 that we're all like driving towards, they might not understand that yet. So you have to be cognizant of that fact when you're trying to build the community to make sure that it's going to be welcoming and fun for everybody. And that's a bit of a challenge. But really, other than that, I'm a big fan of the project. I have been from the beginning. You know me, I really only like projects that I find interesting and fascinating, that are innovative and really challenge like the norms in Web3, right? The last thing I helped with, Ghostly Ghost, was the first omni-chain NFT project. As far as I know, this is the first NFT entertainment project that was produced ahead of time and is trying to go to this model of selling tokens as a ticket and then token gating games to enhance the viewer experience. I don't know if I've talked to you about it, but like NFT ticketing is something I've been a big fan of for a long time. And something that I want to go towards, obviously, work for the music industry. So, yeah, I couldn't be more excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think everyone should check in, whether you buy or not.
Yo, agreed. Well, listen, JVB, Snooze Fighting's wanting you to know that your webcam is impressively crisp.
Thank you. If I may offer any advice, it is this. Listen to me and Harry Swan and go out and buy a Google Pixel 6 Pro.
Ooh, listen, yo, and then while you're doing that, pick up a Little Caesars Fanceroni Pepperoni. Unless you're JVB and you can't have gluten, and then it's got to be 50-50. You know what I mean? Not good.
Pizza.
Yeah, exactly. All right, listen, I appreciate you coming on, sir. You look absolutely fantastic, adding a little bit of life to the party here. Enjoy the flight, get home safe, and we'll chat with you in a little bit.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Peace. Bye. Yo, there it is. The one and only JVB. That's going to wrap it up for right now. Listen, if you missed the interviews earlier, we're uploading to YouTube. Go check the VOD on the stream. I appreciate the hell out of you. And again, if you want more of the Timekeeper, Non-Fungible Alpha podcast. See you later. Peace.
Now I'm just what you want. I look like you want me to. And I can't tell what's true. Cause my world's made up of fake news, yeah. I'm realigning every facet of the space I'm in. I'm customizing all the curves that give the shape I'm in. I'm redesigning all of me so maybe I fit in. Now I'm not whining, but I fucking hate this world we're in. It's just not the kind of place I wanna be. It don't got the kind of rules I wanna see. I feel caught with no shot, so fuck not. Won't live inside your robot. Not like this, cause I don't think you really know who I am or what I like or why I don't fit inside your universe. Cause I always come out feeling worse. No. And you don't know me, despite all your data says. These ads I confess, they must know I'm depressed. Yeah, and I don't think like that. I'm not like you. Fuck you, I'm not a stat. I'm misconstrued. I'm taking my life back from all your garbage I scroll through. I'm not like this, cause I don't think you really know who I am or what I like or why I don't fit inside your universe. Cause I always come out feeling worse. No. And I don't think like that. I'm not like you, fuck you, I'm not a stat. I'm misconstrued, I'm taking my life back. From all your garbage I scroll through. So I hit start like this, and the world loads like that. And I blow harsh with a kiss, I'm metamorphosing into a cat. Now I race around like glitch, find the time to look a name on Twitch. Switching lights in my brain, yeah, Pokemon's got me bewitched. I'm fucking with fans, trying to make them glow. And we take pics like this, and I like the pics so much, I'm gonna pin them up home. Now they can reach me by phone, I am doing this on my own. This kingdom will be overthrown. I'm realigning every facet of the space I'm in. I'm customizing all the curves that give the shape I'm in. I'm redesigning all of me so maybe I fit in. Now I'm not whining, but I fucking hate this world we're in. It's just not the kind of place I wanna be. It don't got the kind of rules I wanna see. I feel caught with no shot, so fuck not. Well, live inside your robot. Well, live inside your robot. Live inside your robot. I'm not your robot. I'm not a robot.
Bringing it full circle. Don't forget the Fanceroni Pepperoni, baby.